Hi guys, welcome back to the Drive Life channel, and today we're talking about the dreaded C word. We've just been put down in lockdown here in the UK, so we're going to be talking about how that affects car drivers, what you can do and what you can't do in relation to your car. So obviously these measures that have been put in place are quite a serious impact on everybody's lives. Everyone basically having to stay indoors, so it's absolutely dead around. There's just barely the odd vehicle every now and then that will go past. You may even notice it in the background of the video, but it's also brought up a lot of questions on what you can do with your vehicle, especially with things like servicing, maintenance, MOTs, all that sort of thing. Whether you can even go and fill up, when can you drive, everything like that. So we're going to cover that today in this video. So the biggest question people are asking is, well, when is it okay to drive? And essentially, the government have said that you can only really drive if you are for medical reasons, if you need to go to a medical appointment, if you're a key worker or you can't physically work at home, then you're allowed to drive to work. You're also allowed to drive to a place for one form of exercise per day. What that means, not entirely sure. Also, you're allowed to drive to go and collect provisions such as food, water, etc. But driving for pleasure is not advised, and actually you could face a fine of up to £1,000 for doing that. So bear that in mind next time you're going out to get your car. You can still refuel. Petrol stations are going to remain open, as will garages, although some of them are actually choosing to close. So if you've got a new car and you've got a service plan, then you may find that your garage is going to close. So you've got to bear that in mind, really. Obviously, we've got cars here. This car actually was due to have some work done on it today, but hasn't happened. But yeah, so it just really depends what garage are open or not. Further to that, MOTs have just had a major update. So essentially, we'll just wait for these cars to go past. So there we go. Essentially, MOTs now, any car that's MOT is due after the 30th of March will now get a 6-month extension. So basically what that means is that this car here, which is the MOT, runs out in October, that will now have an extra 6 months added to it, which means it will actually be March 2021 before the MOT is due on it. That's the same for all of these vehicles, provided their MOT is due after the 30th of March, and that counts for the next 12 months. This has been confirmed by the Ministry of Transport, hence the MOT test, so it's obviously quite a good thing. If your car has a few issues, such as silly little issues, like a cracked headlight, for example, everything still works. That could fail an MOT, so it gives you an extra 6 months to get that sorted. But you do need to make sure that you are keeping your vehicle in good working order, so you can't just drive around with bald tyres and everything like that, because the police will be stopping cars to check it if it says that the MOT is expired. So that's something to bear in mind. You will get another 6 months on your MOT. So yeah, from that point of view, it's fairly decent. Like I said, the government have advised us that you don't go out and just drive for the fun of it, but they've also advised that you keep your car clean. Now, there's actually a 40-point list of parts you need to keep clean on your car. This isn't actually going to be enforced, but it's just sort of a recommendation. So what I'll do is I'll stick them in the link down below, but they're fairly obvious, most of them, such as the steering wheel, door handles, things like that, your gear knob, things like that, essentially just to stop the virus from spreading. But yeah, so let me know if you've got any questions, guys. I think that's pretty much it in terms of how motorists are going to be affected. Like I said, you can't just be driving around for the fun of it. You have to have a genuine reason. So that's something to bear in mind. And yeah, bearing in mind as well that you can actually work on your car if it's sort of in your driveway. As long as you're not in the general public, you're on private land, then you're absolutely fine to do maintenance on your car. And actually, it'd be quite a good time to use to do that really, because you've essentially got 3 weeks of total lockdown. I mean, I'm sure you could find some jobs on any of these cars to do. So again, use the time wisely. I know I said it in my previous video, but use the time wisely, guys. And yeah, all driving tests will also be cancelled. So if you've got a driving test booked within the next few months, unfortunately, that's going to be absolutely cancelled. Sort of until further notice. It's just another byproduct of this, is just trying to stop that interaction. If you've got a driving instructor or a driving examiner and a person sat in the car, then there's obviously a high likelihood that they could be sort of the virus could be transferred between them. So I can see where it all comes from, but yeah, it's just a bit of a little annoyance to consider, especially if you're just learning to drive. You'd be absolutely gutted. So yeah, I sort of feel for you guys out there who are experiencing those issues. One final thing to consider, guys, I nearly forgot it, is the tax and insurance will not be affected by the pandemic. So essentially, insuring your car and taxing it is as normal. You won't get any special discounts or anything like that, and if you're caught without them, you could risk having your car seized. So make sure you're on top of that. And just another thing in reference to fuel, prices are absolutely falling right now. I've seen it under 110 for diesel, so bear that in mind. You could potentially go and get some very, very cheap fuel, and if I were you, I'd just fill the car right up, because you never know, it might be difficult to get hold of soon. We just don't know in these times, so bear that in mind, and make the most of that while you can. Obviously, you can't just specifically drive to get fuel. You'll need to, if you're going to the supermarket, you can fill up on the way back or something, but yeah, that's a major thing to consider. But like I said, 3 weeks, use it wisely, and thanks for watching. Take it easy.